Let's get to what we're talking about today, which is, of course, the fact that we're all so busy. We have text messages, we have emails, we have all these things keeping us so busy, and we're often, because of that, not able to really have the good FaceTime with the people that we see in real life, especially our significant others. But I hear you have a cure for us.
Paige, it's a tragedy. Don't you love it when someone else cooks for you?
Absolutely. It doesn't happen enough, but yes, when it does.
It doesn't happen enough for anybody. This is the problem. I think cooking for someone is the nicest thing you can do for them. It's the most romantic thing you can do for them. It's nurturing, it's sensitive, it's maternal, and unfortunately there are not a lot of Americans doing it. We're infatuated with the food and wine culture, with, you know, food chefs on television, lifestyle gurus, but yet not many of us are actually participating. We end up being voyeurs. And 80% of Americans think that food is the best way to connect with another person. So what I'm trying to do with Bertolli is convert the voyeurs into participants by empowering them with great products like our frozen pasta dinners and getting them to participate in our Bertolli Nights In contest, where they submit a video and maybe we'll make a movie out of their story if they tell us the ingredients for a romantic night in. So there are a lot of solutions out there, and people don't have to feel afraid to get in the kitchen and, you know, get something cooked. If you want to cheat by using shortcut foods, you can. If you want to spend hours in the kitchen and cook, you can. Of course, that's always your choice. But we're trying to help people overcome the obstacles, the typical obstacles that they face when they're trying to cook a dinner at night.
I'm glad you mentioned fear of the kitchen, because I have to admit that is a fear of mine. I try to cook, and I swear just no matter what I do, it doesn't turn out that well. And when it does turn out okay, it's because I've been concentrating so hard on the cooking that I can't, you know, enjoy a conversation and have a glass of wine with my husband sort of while we're doing it. What do you have to do to get to the point that you can, I mean, do you really just kind of have to learn 3 recipes and you know them well enough that you can do it? Or are there things you can do so that you can cook a variety of things and still enjoy the time together during the process?
Well, first of all, if you accept my notion that cooking for someone is the nicest thing you can do for them because you get to the table and have an opportunity to connect and distinguish that from the actual cooking, you can make a couple of decisions. You can decide to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, you know, sweating and being anxious, or you can take advantage of a lot of the shortcut foods that are out there. If you walk down a supermarket aisle these days, there are incredible solutions. Like a rotisserie chicken, for example, is such a great option. A rotisserie chicken can be served as is. It can be chopped up and made into a salad. You can heat up a little pasta and serve it with some pasta, and, you know, end up spending 10 to 15 minutes in the kitchen and not worrying about whether it's going to be good enough. And here's the other thing. Don't worry about whether it's going to be good enough. It's the act. It's the gesture that matters. It's not actually the right cookware, the right wine, and if it's good enough. If you did it for someone else, it's probably good enough, because people love to be taken care of. And the results aren't necessarily, you know, what's important. It's the thought that counts, especially when it comes to cooking. That's
a good point. I like that. Now, what about if you do want to include the other person in the process? Are there any meals in particular that sort of lend themselves well to partner cooking, or being able to say, here, you know, you chop this, I'll do this?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, cooking has a lot of moving parts, so there's always something you can assign to your partner if you want to make them the sous chef. But I'd assign the cleaning to them if you had a choice.
I like that. I'm going to send this link to him right after this. Thank you so much, Rocco.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.